As I mentioned earlier, officials of the Doctors' Union now face arrest after they failed to attend court for their contempt of court case. Now, they were found guilty of contempt and were awaiting sentencing. The warrants of arrest came even with the ultimatum from the government that they resume work tomorrow, failure to which they will be fired. Meru Governor and Chairman of the Council of Governors, Peter Munya, told the doctors' failure to resume work would lead to disciplinary action, probable dismissal, and their jobs being advertised by the counties. Let me bring in my colleague Timothy Otieno, who's joining us from the Milimani Law Courts. Thank you so much, Tim, for joining us on News Center. So talk to us about what are we expecting today? Are we expecting any convictions, or what exactly are we expecting from the courts in regards to this case?
Thank you so much, Betty. First of all, we are at the Railways Club, where the Kenya Medical Practitioners and Dentists Union have since been hauled up in a meeting behind me immediately after that court directive to have the union officials arrested. I'm made to be believed that some of the union officials are actually now coming in and actually are going to be addressing their members shortly. As you can see on your screens right there, that is the chairman of KMPDU, Samuel Oroko, as well as the Secretary General, the two individuals who have since been ordered to appear before the courts, and warrants of arrest have been issued against both of them for failing to present themselves before Lady Justice Helen Wasilwa this morning at the Employment and Labor Relations Court. Now, a warrant of arrest that have been issued on them led to some sort of an informal, there you can hear it, an applause from the members to their officials there who have now entered that particular area to talk to their members following that warrant of arrest issued by the court this morning. Now, they had been summoned by the court previously mid last month. They failed to appear for contempt of court, and of course following a directive by the Employment and Labor Relations Court that had declared the doctors' strike illegal. So now it's day 37. A warrant of arrest has been issued on the officials of KMPDU, who have since joined their members here for an impromptu crisis meeting. Tomorrow, as it stands, the governors have said if the doctors don't go back to work, they are going to be re-advertising their position. So a lot of developments going on in this particular regard. The government has insisted that the 300% pay increment that had been penned down in that collective bargaining agreement of 2013 was null and void because the SRC's input had not been factored in. The doctors insist they're not going to be accepting anything less than that. Just before the union officials arrived, the members there were being led by the National Executive Council members, all 7 of them, who have said after today's declaration to have their officials arrested, they are going to be engaging in the second phase of the strike. So they are basically saying, despite the court's ordering for the arrest of their union officials, they are not going to be going back to work. In fact, it's going to be motivating them more to go to the streets. Now, earlier on, that is what we had witnessed. They made their way from the Milimani Law Courts, where that declaration was made by Lady Justice Helen Wasilwa, all the way to the Ministry of Health headquarters in Afya House, where, of course, they were chanting, demanding to be paid and insisting that they deserve that which they have been fighting for the last 37 days. So as it stands, the members are going to be addressed right now by their officials to see a way forward. As it stands, the officials, of course, have been issued with warrants of arrest. We wait to see whether the police will, of course, follow through with the court directive this morning. But as it stands, a crisis meeting being held here by the officials to the members to see and chat a way forward pending the latest developments. And, of course, less than 24 hours before the county governments begin re-advertising for positions of doctors across all the 47 counties, Betty.
Are they aware of this, of the consequences of this contempt of court? Are they duly aware?
Well, it appears it has reached a phase that now the doctors really care less about any other thing except the implementation of that 300% pay increase, among other things, including job evaluation, job promotions, and of course their postgraduate studies, as this of course has played out a lot of times because so many people have tried to mediate and try to come up with an amicable solution to this strike, including the head of state himself last week, who called the union officials at State House Mombasa to try and come up with a deal. That deal was rejected. So it appears the doctors remain adamant that nothing outside the collective bargaining agreement of 2013 will get them back to the office. And that is the message that they were sending just a few minutes ago after the courts had said that their union officials were to be arrested. They were saying if the union officials are arrested, then there are other branch leaders who will take over the fight and of course will continue with the momentum to push for what they believe is rightfully theirs. So there's this sense that despite the fact that the arrests have been there, they say that even if their officials are arrested, that does not mean there'll be a power vacuum. Others will take up the fight to see that they get what they say is duly theirs. So as it stands, that is the stand taken by the KMPDU members. Of course, a meeting is ongoing. Possibly they'll address the media after that and we'll get a clearer picture of now what's next over the coming days in regards to this latest development in this story, Betty.
All right, thank you very much.